Hey guys, Miss Sam here again. I sure do miss seeing you all, and I'm just so looking forward to when we can be back together again. I hope you are all having a great summer, and I am enjoying this beautiful day outside here today with the sun shining, and I thought I'd bring the story to you from out here. So we're continuing to talk about faith, which is trusting in what you can't see because of what you can see. And we're still talking about Paul, a man whose life was changed in a big way after he met Jesus. So Paul went from arresting and trying to stop people who believed in Jesus to actually believing in Jesus and spreading words about him. Because Paul devoted his life to share the message of Jesus, many Jewish and Greek people came to believe too. But on the flip side, in nearly every town, a group of religious leaders would gather to try to stop what Paul was doing. These were people who felt like Paul did before he met Jesus. They didn't believe Jesus was God's son, and they certainly didn't want Paul going around telling others about him. Paul and his friends were forced to leave several cities, but thankfully, he had the help of his fellow believers. They helped him escape to the coast so he could travel to Athens. Paul left instructions for his traveling friends, their names were Silas and Timothy, to join him as soon as possible. When Paul arrived in Athens, he walked up and down the streets, taking in the sights of the city. He saw lots of statues as he walked. These statues were actually false gods, and the Athenians worshipped thousands of them. They thought these gods were in charge of different things. They just hadn't heard about the one true God. While Paul waited for his friends to arrive, he visited the Jewish synagogue to tell the people there, both Jews and Greeks, about Jesus. He also spoke with people in the marketplace. Word spread of Paul's message about Jesus, and a group of Athenian thinkers wanted to know more. They were interested in gaining knowledge and wisdom, and Paul had ideas that they had never heard. These men asked Paul to share his teaching. Paul wanted to connect the story of Jesus with something they already knew. He remembered when he was walking around the city earlier and looked at all the statues of different gods. He had seen an altar with these words written on it: "To an unknown God." Paul started by pointing out that the people of Athens were very religious. All of the statues of the false gods they worshiped made this pretty obvious. Then he said this in Acts 17:23. "As I walked around, I looked carefully at the things you worship. I even found an altar with 'To an unknown God' written on it. So you don't know what you are worshiping. Now I am going to tell you about this unknown God." Paul explained that the true God made the entire world and everything in it. He created each individual person with a purpose. This is what else he said in Acts 17:27. "God did this so that people would seek him, and perhaps they would reach out for him and find him. They would find him even though he is not far from any of us." Paul went on to quote some of the writers from Athens. He knew that the Athenians might listen to the words of their own writers that showed something of who God is. These writers had said things like, in Acts 17:28, "In him we live and move and exist. We are his children." Paul told them that they were right. People are God's children, and God is alive and real, not some statue carved out of stone or molded from gold. Now, by sending Jesus, God had called everyone, everywhere, to turn away from the wrong they've done and follow him. He proved this by raising Jesus from the dead. As Paul spoke, some people made fun of what he said, but others wanted to hear him speak about Jesus again. Because of Paul, they realized that the unknown God wasn't unknown at all. God sent Jesus to be our Savior so that everyone could know him personally. And Paul continued to share the good news and love of Jesus wherever he went. Paul knew that Jesus is the answer for everyone, so he wanted to help others know him. Paul explained things in a way that people could relate to, in a way they understood. And you and I can do that too. You and I can help others know about Jesus. Just like Paul did, you can be real and talk about what you believe in a way that others understand. And remember, helping others know Jesus isn't in just what you say. It's also in what you do. When you treat people with love, respect, and kindness, they can see the love of Jesus through you. Think about it. When you put others first, people notice. They can see there's something different about you because you're choosing to treat others the way that you want to be treated. That helps them see what a difference Jesus has made in your life. So I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week, and so look forward to seeing you all. Sure do miss you guys, and I'll be seeing you soon.